Here's an idea. Pay an out-of-state consultant nearly $2 million to come up with ideas for the governor, lieutenant governor, and other state officials. What? You think that's a bad idea? Well, it happened, and you paid for it. Dean Staley on special assignment to show what you got for your money.
Coping with high gas prices, helping charter schools get funding, and figuring out how to reduce suicides. All admirable goals for state government, and all should be achievable using facts and figures staffers have at their fingertips. But as it turns out, state employees didn't research any of these things. A Pennsylvania consulting firm called Public Works did, and got paid with your tax dollars. And what did taxpayers get in return for that money? Studies, policy reviews, and position papers directing state employees how to do jobs they likely already knew how to do. So why are we farming out work that could be done by state employees? We asked that question of State Senator John Arthur Smith.
They have a multitude of people to work on policy issues specifically, and so one would question on what's the need for some type of out-of-state assistance.
So what did we get with your money? The State Department of Economic Development signed 5 contracts with Public Works worth more than $100,000 over 5 years. For that money, Public Works helped the department, and I quote, clarify and implement the state's economic development vision. Next up, the Department of Finance and Administration. Now this is the biggie of the bunch. Public Works got more than $1.1 million to instruct and coach state employees on how to conduct a performance review of the 21 agencies that make up state government. In the past couple of years, Governor Bill Richardson and Lieutenant Governor Diane Dennish spent more than $250,000 in state money just for advice. For that sizable chunk of change, taxpayers bought a paper advising Dennish of her own policy positions and projects. As for Governor Richardson, Public Works was able to advise him on the state's need for clean water, lower gas prices, and fewer suicides. According to State Engineer John D'Antonio, the governor's office directed his agency to take part in a $50,000 Public Works contract about water policy in 2008. Another source also says the governor's office pushed for the contracts.
Obviously, they strike an atmosphere of suspicion on how the dollars are being used. Obviously, we need some accountability.
We just never did any of this stuff. None of it. None of it.
That's former Governor Gary Johnson, who says during his 8 years in office, he didn't do business with companies like Public Works.
I just thought it was a waste of money. I thought that these were decisions that we were capable of making and, in fact, did make.
We tried to talk to Richardson, but he didn't respond to our request for an interview. We also wanted to interview Lieutenant Governor Dennish, but were told she was not available either. With the state facing a nearly $500 million budget shortfall next year, every expenditure is taking on extra importance.
If you have to tighten your belt at home, if you have to tighten it at your neighborhood, then you need to be tightening it in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
I'm a little upset, not just a little upset. I'm really kind of on the outraged side of why this state has the deficits that it has. These millions of dollars that are spent add up, and it's why we have the $450 million shortfall that we have today.
On special assignment, Dean Staley, KRQE News 13.
Other agencies that contracted with Public Works include the Department of Workforce Solutions, the Department of Taxation and Revenue, and the Public Education Department.
Don't tell